At a regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia duly called and held on the 13th day of February 2012 at 7:51 p.m. in the Trustees Room, second floor, Village Hall, Fredonia, New York, and public notice of the time and place of this meeting has been given to the news media and conspicuously posted in one or more designated public locations in accordance with Section 104 of the Open Meetings Law.
Whereas members of this board present at the meeting have read the official minutes of the Board of Trustees regular meeting of January 9th, 2012, now therefore be it resolved, this board approves the minutes as entered in official minutes, and be it further resolved that the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Reports.
We have many reports. The Fire Department Annual Report for 2011 and the Fire Department Monthly Report for January 2012. I'll just hit the highlights of the annual. They had a grand total of 1,726 calls, of which 1,280 were rescue and EMS. That's okay. 213 false alarm and false calls, and 52 service calls. The monthly report for January 2012, they had a total of 135 calls, of which 100 were rescue and EMS, 16 were false alarms and false calls, and 7 good intents. The second set of reports is from the building inspector's office for the months of October, November, and December. And I guess I'll just give you the highlight on those. There were a total, in October, a total of 16 building permits issued with $1,824.50 collected in fees. Total fees for the month were $3,159.50. For November 2011, there were a total of 11 building permits issued, $1,677.80 collected in fees, 16 certificates of compliance for commercial fire and safety inspections, $1,425 collected in fees, and 12 certificates of compliance for residential rental property inspections, $1,015 collected in fees for $4,117.80. That was November. And December, building inspector's report, total fees were $2,859.60, of which 6 building permits were issued for $359.60, 14 certificates of compliance for residential rental properties, $1,525 collected in fees, and 11 certificates of compliance for $975. The next report is the police report for the month of January 2012. They had incidents reported of 790, arrests reported 79, vehicle and traffic 60, and parking tickets 158. The last report is the justice report for the month of January 2012. Total fines and surcharges, including parking tickets, $19,290.50. Total cases, 190. And that's it for the reports.
Okay. Correspondence.
Correspondence was received from James Fidel, president of the Fredonia Beaver Club, informing the village that the board of directors has approved a gift of $5,000 to the Village of Fredonia Police Department to be used for the purchase of in-car video camera equipment.
Whereas the Fredonia Beaver Club of Fredonia, New York has approved a gift of $5,000 to the Village of Fredonia Police Department as set forth in the letter dated November 1st, 2011 to be used for the purchase of a car video camera equipment. Now therefore be resolved that the said gift is accepted for the purposes stated in the said letter dated November 1st, 2011, and upon the completion of the initial $5,000 donation, the Beaver Club will review and determine additional donations of $5,000 each for the 3 remaining marked patrol cars, and the mayor is hereby authorized to send the Fredonia Beaver Club a letter thanking them for the generous gift to the Village of Fredonia.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
A letter of resignation was received from Thomas Cocker, part-time police officer with the Village of Fredonia Police Department, resigning his position effective February 3rd, 2012.
Be it resolved that the resignation of Thomas Cochran as part-time police officer with the Village of Fredonia Police Department is hereby accepted effective February 3rd, 2012. As the mayor is hereby authorized to write a letter to Mr. Cochran thanking him for his service to the Village of Fredonia.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
Correspondence dated February 1 was received from Time Warner Cable notifying the village that agreements with certain programmers are due to expire soon and may be required to cease carriage of one or more of the services in the near future. Next correspondence was received from the Secretary of the D.R. Barker Hose Company to add the name of Jack Kajawa to the active roll.
Be it resolved that the name of Jack Kajawa, 3721 East Main Road, Fredonia, is hereby added to the active roll of the D.R. Barker Hose Company, effective immediately.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
Correspondence was received from the Secretary of the D.R. Barker Hose Company to continue the name of John Messina on the active roll effective immediately.
Be it resolved that the name of John Messina Dunkirk is hereby continued on the active roll of the D.R. Barker Hose Company effective immediately.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
A notice of claim dated February 10, 2012 was received from the attorneys Shaw and Shaw PC on behalf of Jonathan Haas against the Village of Fredonia. And that's it for correspondence.
Okay, thank you. And now we come to the public portion. Would anyone in the audience like to address the board this evening? Yes, sir.
I think it may have been tabled before. John Heisman from Fredonia Radio. I was in class until I got.
Oh,
sorry.
right. Let me tell you what the confusion is.
Okay.
We have an opera going on that same day.
Okay. We had the problem last year too.
Oh, okay.
It was the same date last year.
Right.
We rearranged the acts to put the acoustic acts later in the evening so that the sound isn't a problem. But we turned
Oh.
everything. We just swap acts around, so we can do that again this year. So that anything that has like a full band and drum kit goes on earlier in the day, and then we put the like acoustic guitars and things later on in the day.
Okay, now, do you know what time the opera's gonna take place?
I know, but when we get that, we haven't booked any of the bands yet, so
Oh.
we'll just look at that and we'll just make sure that it works around that time.
Okay, would you like to come in and meet with the gentleman that's in charge of the opera?
Sure,
And the two of you could coordinate your activities?
absolutely.
Perfect.
In fact, maybe you could bring your people over to the opera
Mm-hmm.
and they can enjoy it. I'm just kidding. This is my marketing ploy.
Hey, that's all right.
But, yeah, why don't you stop over sometime? I'll introduce you to Rick. If you want to give me a call, we could set up a meeting.
Okay.
And that way we could, work it all out. And then I think we can go ahead and pass it.
Once it's all
Wanna
worked
do it
out.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that for tonight. Have we
Okay,
passed that?
number 7, correspondence was received from Judge Husler.
Close enough.
Okay, close enough? Okay. General Manager of the Fredonia Radio Systems requesting permission to use Barker Common in the gazebo on Saturday, April 14th, 2012, from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. for the annual Rock in the Commons charity event to benefit Roswell Park Cancer Institute of Buffalo.
Be it resolved, the permission is hereby granted to Judge Husler, General Manager, Fredonia Radio Systems, to use Barker Common and gazebo for the annual Rockin' in the Commons charity event to benefit Roswell Park Cancer Institute of Buffalo on Saturday, April 14, 2012, from 5 a.m. setup to 11 p.m. teardown, and that Church Street between Temple Street and Park Place be closed for the performers and Chevetta's Chicken Barbecue, and be it further resolved that the above use of the gazebo is subject to the direction of the Fredonia Police Department, and be it further resolved that this resolution is subject to the receipt of a certificate of insurance naming the Village of Fredonia as an additional insured in the amount of $1 million.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Okay, back to public portion. Would anyone like to address the board? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Madeline Helmer, and I'm going to read this because I'm a senior citizen and it's almost bedtime.
Oh,
To the village board members, 5 years ago, my husband and I moved to Fredonia after looking around the area to relocate to be near our son and his family. Fredonia appeared to be a well-maintained village, similar to the one we had left. However, since Since we have been here, we have seen many services deteriorate, one of which is the reason I'm here tonight. My husband and I joined St. Anthony's Parish 4 years ago. For those years, the parking lot exit on Monroe Street has gone from a hole, what we New Englanders call Queechy Gorge. And for anybody who doesn't know anything about New England, that's in Vermont. I had back surgery on August 30th, 2011, and I bought a new car in December. And neither my new car or my back appreciate the way this village has let a small hole become a disgraceful hole that a car could be lodged in. I go to Mass every Sunday and a couple of days during the week, and I hold my breath that my car and I do not skid on water or ice into the car parked in front of the house across the street from this exit. In behalf of my fellow St. Anthony parishioners, I'm asking the village to rectify this problem. At the very least, the village could fill it in with stones until weather permits, proper maintenance can be accomplished. Mayor, you were right there Saturday night. Did you go out that hole?
Well, I walked.
Oh, lucky you.
I live right around the corner, so that.
Lucky you. A lot of us didn't.
Could I have a copy
That
of your letter?
You most certainly have. I would love it in the record.
Could you bring the letter up?
Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much, and my apologies. And I'll make sure this gets into the right hands of the right person.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to address the board under the public portion? Okay, let's close the public portion and go to resolutions. Mr. Siri.
Okay, let's see here.
Mike, are you taking off? Yeah. We're going to have a special meeting on the 21st at 7:30. 21st. To name a negotiator. Okay? Okay?
Resolution authorizing the issuance of 40,000 bonds of the Village of Fredonia, Chuck County, New York, to pay the cost of the construction of a new domestic water line for the village wastewater treatment plant and its said village. Whereas all conditions precedent to the financing of the capital project when here described includes a compliance with the provisions of the State Environmental Quality Review Act have performed, and whereas such project has been determined to be a type 2 action as defined under the regulations of the State Environmental Quality Review Act, promulgated pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, which, as provided in the regulations, did not have any significant adverse impact upon the environment. The remaining, I don't have to read this entire bond.
No.
Right? The remaining part of this bond will be held at the village clerk's office downstairs, first floor.
Okay, and we have a roll call vote on this one? Mrs. Subject?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Reckman?
Aye.
Mr. Siri?
Yes.
Mr. Brown the second?
Yes.
Mr. Brown the other?
Hey.
We have 5 ayes,
Yeah.
so it's passed.
Article 10. Be resolved. Make sure that I'm not missing one here. Okay. Excuse me. Be resolved that the following agreements are hereby approved for the 2012 summer band concert series scheduled to be held in the gazebo from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. in Barker Commons to it. The band start June 27th, 2012 and end August 29th, 2012. These are concerts that will be held, state here, on Wednesday nights, pretty much Wednesday nights. June 27th, July 6th, July 11th, 18th, 25th, August 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th. Be it further resolved that the total amount to be spent for all the band concerts shall not exceed the sum of $4,525, and be further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to sign said agreements on behalf of the village of Fredonia.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
Be resolved that the training request of Robert Lancaster, Chief Operator of a water filtration plant to attend New York's water event in Saratoga Springs, New York, from April 17th through the 19th, 2012, is hereby approved at a cost not to exceed $743.80. This conference is sponsored by New York State American Water Works Association.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Ooh, Saratoga. Nice.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Tell Ed
Right.
that. Tell Ed and Reedy that.
I know, right, I know. Somebody's gotta be there,
Oh,
so.
okay, good.
Be it resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to write a letter to the New York State Department of Transportation requesting the speed limit on Route 20 in the village of Fredonia from Route 20 going west to be reduced from 40 to 30 miles per hour. The village of Fredonia trustees believe that they will allow for a safer environment for students and vehicles pulling in and out of businesses, schools, and residents in the area.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Agreed?
Opposed? Okay.
Right by the school.
Whereas Title VI NYCRR Part 617.5 of the regulations relating to Article 8 of the Environmental Conservation Law of New York State, SEQA, requires that as early as possible in the proposed action, an involved agency shall make a determination whether given action is subject to SEQA, and whereas all Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia had due notice of this meeting, and that pursuant to Section 94 of the Public Officers Law, Public Meetings Law, said meeting was open to the general public, and due and proper notice of the time and place thereof was given as required by law, and whereas a short-form environmental assessment form prepared by O'Brien and Gare Engineers, Inc. of Syracuse, New York, covering the village's proposed action, said action being the village's entering into an agreement with the town of Pomfret for providing water to the Phase 1 of the Pomfret North End Water District, Pomfret District, along with maps and other supporting data and engineers' reports, including the O'Brien and Gare Engineers Water System Evaluation Report dated January 9, 2012, which satisfactorily describes the proposed project, which have been received and reviewed by this board, a copy of which is attached to this resolution. And whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia have previously contracted with O'Brien and Gare to prepare a study for the village board to determine the ability of the village to provide water to Phase 1 of the Pomfret District, and to determine if there will be any adverse impact on Fredonia's water system. And whereas O'Brien and Gare Engineers has determined that the village has adequate water to sell to Phase 1 of the Pomfret District without causing any insufficiency to the village water supply to village residents and other water districts, and also determined that there would be no adverse impact on the village water system, such as an adverse impact on water pressure, fire flow, etc. And whereas the town of Pomfret has performed a CEQA review regarding the construction of the project in the town of Pomfret and has made a negative declaration of no significant adverse impact. And whereas attached to this resolution is the short form CEQA form, which has attached to it the evaluation report of the village's water system prepared by O'Brien and Gare. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia, pursuant to Part 617 of the NYCRR, hereby determines that the proposed action does not involve any federal agency and that it is an unlisted action, and be it further resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia, after due deliberation and review of the O'Brien and Gare Engineers Evaluation Report and other information, hereby determines that the proposed action of entering into a contract to sell water to the town of Pomfret for Phase 1 of the Pomfret North End Water District will not have a significant adverse impact on the environment, in that this resolution shall constitute a negative declaration for the purposes of Article 8 of the Environmental Conservation Law of the State of New York, and be it further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to sign said CEQA form on behalf of the Village of Fredonia.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. And I would like to announce one more time that we will have a special meeting on February 21st at 7:30 p.m. And the purpose of that meeting will be to name a negotiator for contracts. Anyone else have any announcements they would like to make?
I would like to ask a question.
Oh, sir.
When's the public meeting on the signage that the village has been looking into?
We haven't set a date for that yet. We did take a look at, I wanted the trustees to all see what the signage looks like.
Definitely.
So they would have an indication of what it looks like, but we haven't set a date for the public
Okay.
hearing yet.
We could probably announce that in the paper
Mhm.
when we do.
Right, and we'll make sure everyone is aware.
Sounds great.
Okay. Anything else? Do I hear another motion then?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Nice motion.
I
Do
will
I have a
second.
second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.